Okay. That's one of the dangers of having court watchers.
All right, back to what I was saying. I'm going to make it abundantly clear. The 2-25.
Just for the record, I just to prevent this, I've just removed all the court watchers, Ms. Bendel.
That's fine. That's fine.
Unfortunately, I had to take that action.
I don't care at this point. The guardianship references that he continuously keeps trying to use to keep my children from me are the DCFS guardianship 2-25 protection orders that were shipping the children down here and just giving Justin temporary guardianship of the children. I wanted to be clear that those orders have been filed many, many times in my docket. And there is an arrow pointing to line A that says these orders expire August, blah, blah, blah of 2022 and December 23rd or 28th of 2023. Those are not permanent family court orders. They are Illinois DCFS protection orders that were only allowed and used while the Illinois DCFS cases were open. So it does state that Justin Serlick was to give me supervised visits during the DCFS case while they were open. That's it. I never got any of those supervised visits.
All right, Ms. Bendel.
My children were dumped with him. I lost any and all contact.
All right, Ms. Bendel.
To be clear on the record, those orders that he keeps referencing were Illinois DCFS orders that have zero jurisdiction in the state of Florida. If he wanted to continue using those orders to abuse me, he should have remained in Illinois where they had jurisdiction. Once those cases were closed in 2022, December 14th of 2021, and December 23rd of 2023, they're no longer valid. You cannot have Illinois DCFS orders in another state. They don't have jurisdiction. His responsibility was to create a UCC JEA order in the state of Florida and have a new permanent order done. He did none of that.
Ms. Bendel, let Mr. Serlick finish.
I want a child exchange at the police department today, Mr. Alvarez.
Ms. Bendel. Go ahead, Mr. Serlick.
I'm sorry, I don't even know where we were. Unfortunately, it's
get over it.
Okay.
That's all you do is watch porn. That's all you do.
Go ahead and take it.
Get over it.
Take a minute, Mr. Serlick. I understand. Let me know if you have another, if you want to.
We're all adults here. Move on. What does this have to do with the safety and welfare of my children? Mr. Alvarez, I want to pick up my children at the police department today.
And what is that going to be for? What is that going to look like? You picking them up?
You don't get to say whether or not I have access to my children. You are my abuser. You are abusing my children. You do not get to say whether or not I get to see or speak to my children. I divorced you in June 2013. You are my abuser. You are my rapist. You no longer get to control me. Do you understand?
Ms. Bendel, please come.
When am I going to be able to get my children from the police department, Mr. Alvarez? There is nothing blocking me from my kids at this time. Nothing.
The details within DIN 41.
When am I going to be able to?
Mr. Serlick, do you have anything else you wanted to say?
I have nothing more to say because she's just going to keep talking over me.
All right. Ms. Bendel, do you have any questions you want to ask Mr. Serlick?
How many other women have you raped?
I haven't raped anybody.
You know damn well what you did to me every night on my Ambien after I divorced you.
Do you have any other questions?
How did it make you feel when you took my pants down knowing I was paralyzed? How did it make you feel when you cleaned up your cum while I was
Bendel.
paralyzed at Ambien and then pulled my pants back up.
Ms.
Why
Bendel.
are you bringing up rape allegations in our child custody
It's an
case?
allegation. It's not an allegation. You raped me for years. Mr. Alvarez, when am I getting my children at the police department?
Ms. Bendel, only confine yourself to questioning Mr. Serlick regarding his testimony. Do you have any questions about what he testified about?
No, I've made
Okay.
all of the evidence very
Mr.
clear.
Serlick,
And you need to start
have anything
protecting
else?
my children, Mr. Alvarez.
No, I have nothing further to say.
all right, Ms. Bendel, anything in closing?
I love my children. I had many, many miscarriages before I had the 4 of them. The first 2 are fertility treatments with the Fertility Centers of Illinois. The third one, Bianca, was a Clomid baby. The 4th one, Charles Serlick, is the product of Justin Serlick raping me after I had a miscarriage with the man I loved. I lost the man I loved because Justin Serlick would not move out of my home that was in my name only at 9 Tweed Road in Fox Lake, Illinois. Justin Serlick has been controlling and manipulating me for 25 years, Mr. Alvarez, while you and Stasia Warren and Sandra C. Upchurch allow this abuse to continue, which is why I will be suing all of you. I love my children. I will continue to protect my children. And now, Mr. Alvarez, it is my mission in life to continue protecting other families that are victim of this corrupt judicial system as well. You need to stop using our judicial system and our country that my grandfathers fought. Major Robert E. Bendel of Florida, look him up. He spent countless hours protecting Floridians. He was on the Air Force Base when Andrew destroyed his home. Major Robert E. Bendel. My family is married into the 12th president. I have leadership in my blood. I will take this to Washington, D.C. So I suggest you and Sandra C. Upchurch start upholding Florida Supreme Court laws, or I will be seeing you in prison, Mr. Alvarez. I want to pick up my children at the police department today so I can get them the help they need.
Thank you, Mr. Serlick. Anything in closing?
I'm here participating in this court for the children. I am currently their guardian, and her behavior does not warrant, with her mental state, the way she is behaving in court, her decorum. This is only an example of how she is with the children.
Mr. Alvarez.
Go ahead, sir.
I apologize. I don't know why she continues to think that all of the court proceedings are invalid, but I am just following what the court has done and asked of me as a parent to get back our children. And I understand at the end of the day that, yes, she should have visitation with her children, but the way and how hostile she is, just in a video call and in a courtroom environment, this is how she behaved with the kids. And her own actions has put this into place. I was the only one able to provide support for our children. And when she removed me from the situation, that's when all of this stuff happened and all of the children got taken away. And it has been her refusing to cooperate every step of the way is where we are today.
All right. And just for the record, I had to remove Miss Bendel. It was apparent that she was going to continue to interrupt you. I did allow her to present her case in chief, so this is just a closing argument. The closing argument is not evidence, so she wasn't removed from any of the evidentiary portion of the hearing. Needless to say, I will need to take the case under advisement. I'll have to, it'll take some time to go through all of these exhibits that were admitted into evidence by the mother. There was a prior motion made by the mother, or through Mr. Brown, I guess, was representing her back in July of last year, where he asked the court for appointment of an attorney or a guardian ad litem. It looks like that matter was referred to me initially by Judge, let's see, I think it was still, Judge Warren was still on the case at the time, but she objected to the referral to the general magistrate with regard to that particular motion. Was that motion ever heard by the court?
No, I believe she then requested the recusal of the judge at that point, and then the judge recused herself, and then Heather has started to submit all of these ungodly amounts of just ridiculous, like, evidence. I mean, I just want my children to be safe, and with everything the way she's behaving, I mean, it's very evident that, I mean, she can't control herself within the court.
I just wondered if the court had ever addressed that motion or not, but it sounds
I think
like
she asked for it, and she said she didn't want to pay for it.
Oh, okay. She didn't want to pay for the appointment of the guardian ad litem.
Correct, because it's something that we have to pay out of pocket.
I got you. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I will take I'll review the testimony that was presented here today. I know it wasn't the easiest of hearings to get through. I apologize for that. But I did, and I also allowed for additional time. As you can see, I went past the 1 hour allotted time. So I wanted everyone to be able to have their say today and avoid having to come back another day if possible. So I'll review the evidence that was presented, and again, my apologies for the court watchers. It's a first time. It's a first for everything, I guess. All right, and Ms. Cundiff, a special thanks to you for your help today. All right, so I'll issue my report as soon as I can, Mr. Serlick. I'll send both you and Ms. Bendel a copy of my proposed report. And remember, if either party disagrees with my proposed order, you have 15 days to file a motion to vacate or an appeal to the judge. This would be to Judge Upchurch if you disagree with my findings. So there is a difference between, that's the distinction between the magistrate and the judges. My report is a proposed or recommended order, and then you do have the opportunity to contest it or challenge it if you so wish. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.